Welcome to Bench Burner Sports, everybody. We are stoked to have Bailey King on again for another interview. It's been a minute. What's going on, Bailey?
Not much right now. I have really big plans in mind since I've last fought. Right now, I'm just working on coaching and doing private lessons to save up some money. I'm working on getting some sponsors right now, and yeah, I'm keeping up with training, stuff like that.
Hell yeah. That's what's
Mhm.
up, man. Yeah. So as far as that goes, like, are you able to talk about the big plans or?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
So I'm hoping that I got to get a passport and visa situation figured out. But what I'm looking to do right now is just move to Thailand and see how long I can't stay out there, fight out there, and just see what I can't make possible out there. So when I come back, I'm just a monster. Like I'm just an undeniable killer. So I don't want to keep doing what I'm doing now and expecting different results. You know what I mean? Kind of wasn't happy that I lost. It didn't like devastate me, but I'm not happy with that, you know. And so since that happened, I kind of realized that there needs to be some changes, and I think a change in the positive direction would be moving to Thailand.
Man, I saw you planning on going to Tiger Muay Thai. Is that something like that, or is it just doesn't matter? Just a Thai gym anywhere?
So right now, as I save up the money for it, I don't know what the landscape is going to look like in the future, like 6 months to a year from now. And so, like, I'm just kind of saving up and open to options. I have looked online, places like Tiger Muay Thai. I've heard fairly recently, the place has gone rather kind of like recreational, and so it isn't the kind of powerhouse that it once was, for sure, you know. And so there's some really good teams and gyms that are out there. I just kind of want to see as we get closer to the date, what's going to be the best for me.
Right on. Right on.
Hmm.
I mean, we've seen with fighters in the past, well, several fighters, Piotr Yan, Khalil Roundtree, a lot of Alex Volkanovski, a lot of fighters that have gone over to Thailand and trained. It's been very beneficial. So I think that no matter where you go, it would be super good. So
No, I
definitely
certainly
focus on the
agree.
Muay Thai. Yeah, that's good for you, man. I'm happy for you.
Would you say that that's like your next step in your combat sports career, or is that just kind of something you're looking ahead towards? Like, do you plan on fighting before then, or?
Yeah, and I certainly plan on fighting to help earn some of the money to make it there. But it's more so I want to try and not compete in MMA just because like MMA is I mean I might just be crazy, but MMA is kind of like the masterpiece. You know what I mean? I want to have a career you can look at and be impressed with every single fight. And so I'm not opposed to fighting MMA at all. It's just if I can, I would like to kind of compete in jiu-jitsu and get sponsorships that way. I can do kickboxing and build my skills outside of MMA, still striking, you know what I mean? And so get paid, build my skills, um, just move me closer to my goals. So I'm certainly still going to be competing,
Yeah.
100%.
Do you plan on doing that with Peak? Because I remember they started to do that kind of one model of different combat sports in an event. So would you do like a Muay Thai fight for them, or?
They have like 4 ounce Muay Thai right now. I think that's their only option as far as like Muay Thai, and that's just like that's brutal. You know, if I want to fight often, I just don't think 4 ounce Muay Thai is like the best idea.
That makes
Totally not opposed to it. It's basically just a stand up fight, but I would like to fight rather frequently, and getting my face sautéed is not the in the plan. It's not a good idea.
Are you looking at? I mean, I would assume it's. I mean, I know you talked about it before on the podcast and stuff, but are there any like promotions for jujitsu or Muay Thai or kickboxing that you've looked at yet? Or
Just whatever's local in DFW as far as kickboxing goes, and for jiu-jitsu, I'm going to start competing for IBJJF, and so that's a pretty prestigious tournament. I've won all the local ones, and so I kind of just don't want to be beating up dads anymore. I'm ready to take on other guys my age that are just as hungry as I am, you know. So There's one coming up here in about 4 weeks in Fort Worth that I'm registered for and I have a sponsor for. So like the whole thing's taken care of for me. I just have to show up and compete. And then there's going to be a few more events like that too. So while I am in America, until I do leave, I'm going to be focusing on what I might not get in Thailand, which is going to be like some of the high level jiu-jitsu and stuff like that and wrestling. So until then, that's just kind of been my main focus. I've even been pulling guard lately. I've even been pulling guard. It's not good. It's not good.
Hell yeah.
I could. So
right now Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. You go ahead.
Right now, truthfully, I'm training with some of the best guys in DFW for jiu-jitsu. Some of the best minds, at least. Like some of the guys I'm training with are really fantastic at jiu-jitsu, like really good. And I just kind of get to train with them and be in that environment. And so it's gonna certainly serve me in the future, for sure.
I don't know. I mean, it's good to hear that you're expanding all of your horizons. I think it's good to train different disciplines and like really hone them in. And I didn't get to talk to you. I think in the last interview that we did as bench burner with you, I was going to ask you, how is your body feeling since you moved to middleweight? I know that was a big change for you. How are you feeling?
Oh man, when I went up to middleweight, I blew up, dude. So I weighed in at 185, and then I got into the cage at 217, and I think that just was a lot of weight. I just wasn't used to competing at that, like, with so much on me, and I didn't feel it at the time, but watching back, I could see how I got sluggish. I wasn't kind of thinking about how I'm feeling at the time. I just kind of like was like a meathead and saw like target in front of me, attack, and this time I lost. Since I had fought, I had lost 15 pounds. And then now I'm slowly putting it back on, not through like being a bodybuilder in the gym, but through like actual like training hard, and what my body puts on from training hard. That's the weight that I'm putting on. So yeah, I'm hoping a second time around at middleweight is a lot different, and I don't kind of have that extra weight holding me down.
Awesome to hear.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's I guess not as common to hear, at least these days, someone that's kind of starts their professional career in MMA, moving to other combat sports, and then coming back. It's more of they start another combat sport and then move to MMA. It's the interesting change. I think it's super beneficial. There's not many people that have done it before. I mean, outside of the obvious, just well-rounding your skills, do you think any other advantages come with that, like mentally or?
No, I certainly agree. I would certainly say so. You take guys that have only ever really fought MMA and their whole careers. I can't even really think of much off the top of my head. I mean, Ian Gary's an example. The guy just did MMA his whole career. Him and Pereira debuted on the same card. You know what I mean? One's a specialist. The other one just did MMA their whole career, And so that was a realization. I felt like I realized that. And so I kind of didn't mind taking a step back for a little bit to go and actually become a true specialist and come back better, sharper, yeah.
Sweet, right on, man. I was gonna say, I was thinking you're talking about Muay Thai and training Muay Thai, and I feel like with your height advantage and a good clinch, I don't know if you saw the fight between Ferocium and Matt Frivola at UFC Paris, that long knee that he took. I mean, he raised his knee.
I saw that, yeah.
I thought like it would just be super interesting to be able. I know he's more of a kickboxing specialist, but I was like, I actually, when you mentioned Muay Thai, I immediately thought, I was like, man, it would be sick to see that, like that clinch knee up top. And I mean, it's got to be a huge advantage. Still, I mean, at middleweight, you're 6'5", that's got to be a massive advantage.
Yeah, no, certainly. And I love my knees too. I love knees. So just getting those even sharper, I mean, that's just bad news for everybody. That's not going to be good for anyone.
Oh yeah. I was gonna say, I mean, that's got to also be like a positive. And I feel like I was gonna ask you if it's still a motivation, being your height, moving to a division where you are still tall. because, I mean, I think the next tallest. Sorry, Cody Steele just knocked this guy out. I was watching that. We're watching Dana White's Contender Series while we're talking with you, man. But what I was going to mention though was I was going to say you remind me a lot, but like a more built version of Kendall Grove. I'm old. I don't know if anybody remembers that guy, but yeah, I'm old. He's an old UFC fighter. My bad, man. Oh shoot! You guys go ahead with your questions.
I'm a casual, bro. I'm a casual.
No, I'm just old. I've been watching for 20 years. It's yeah. These guys don't even know half the shit I talk about, so don't mind me. You go.
But I'll take that as a compliment.
It is.
I'll look him up. I'll look him up, and I will feel honored later.
That should be like 10-9.
No, he.
God, dude.
I'm done talking. You guys go.
Jesus, dude. Anyways, anything new in the video game sphere?
Bro, the only game I've really been playing is DayZ.
Okay.
Like, nothing just really seems to interest me. I'm a sucker for survival games, and I like that kind of high stakes. Like I'm all about like high stakes. If there's not high stakes, I'm not interested. You know what I mean? And being alive for like days at a time and just being able to die in a heartbeat, you know, that kind of gets my blood going. It makes me feel good, and so I've just been playing a ton of DayZ lately.
Yeah, I used to like Rainbow Six Siege for that same reason. It's like it's a first-person shooter, but it's also like a more slowed down, like
methodical,
yes,
like chess. You're like playing chess with guns.
It's not Call of Duty for sure.
Yeah,
it's like he mentioned survival and like taking risks and stuff matters. Max, you remember playing Hell Let Loose? God, you die. That game. If you like shooters,
dude,
I've seen videos on that game. It looks really good. I've always wanted to get into that. Yeah,
me and Knuckles used to play it a lot, and he would kill it, and I would just die and have to run like 5 miles to catch up with him.
Oh, they have a new game mode where
you respawn, but you respawn like 5 fucking miles away, and you have
it's realistic.
5 miles to get back to where you were.
No, I dig that. I dig that.
Yeah, no,
they have a realistic. They have a newer game mode where it's closer quarters, but still, I feel like you have to run for 5 minutes.
Well, it's cool, dude, because it's like doesn't have hit markers, doesn't have like you don't know if you killed people. You just shot him. Like a guy's hiding in another bunker, and you shoot him a bunch of times. You hope you kill him, and then you have to press forward, and maybe you didn't kill him. He's just waiting for you, and then you get there and didn't actually kill him, and he fucking kills you.
I'd be pissed, and you got to walk 5 miles now. Yeah, yep. I agree. That reminds me of a game that I've also been playing since the last time we talked. Body Cam.
I've
heard of the game.
I've heard of that.
Cam.
Yeah.
It's like that hyper realistic, like lane shooter. It's actually like pretty intense because it looks like it's like Live League Simulator. It's like intense. It's very intense. It looks realistic.
That's not the like SWAT game, right? No,
it is. Yeah.
I think you might be thinking of Ready or Not. Are you thinking of
Ready or Not?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Body Cam is a little bit different. The graphics are like it's probably the most. They use the kind of natural blurriness to the camera to make it look realistic. It doesn't look realistic. It looks realistic through the lens of a body camera, which adds like a real sick realism effect.
I like that. I like that. I think I might have seen it. Is it like even the animations, the death animations are still like pretty brutal, right? Like they're,
they'll like wiggle on the floor and like moan, and you gotta like put them.
That's how Ready or Not is too, dude.
Yeah.
People are like going through death throes on a fucking video game, dude. It's fucking wild.
We're just creating
like, what in the fuck are these guys talking about? I've never played a video game in my life.
I used to play Clash of Clans, so I kind of get where y'all are going.
It's very similar. It's very similar.
Clash of Clans is that's a milsim, right? Like that's a
super, Bailey, have you ever played Kingdom Come Deliverance?
No, I've saw it though. It looks
okay.
Good.
I was gonna say good. You said you like realistic games. That one, I just bought it on the Microsoft Store. I don't think it's on sale still, but I bought it on the Microsoft Store for $5. I was like, okay, I got to get it. If you like realistic, it's like I don't know. It's just medieval realistic. It's really cool. The history is very accurate too.
It's single player though, right?
Yes, that's the only
For
downside.
me, I get my kick out of like if I'm not actively being better than somebody, it's like not appealing.
That's
Not to
fair.
sound like a dick, but it
Then
needs to be high stakes and against other people.
So have you played Chivalry?
2, yes, I have.
Yeah,
That was really good.
yes,
Chivalry
okay.
2 is really good.
All right,
That's a really good one.
Oh, dude,
Yeah.
the first time I played it, I just get brutalized for like 5 matches in a row. I'm like, what is
It's
going on?
hilarious, bro. It is a great time. It is a great
It is.
time.
You ever play For Honor?
Oh, dude, I have like over 100. I have over 100 days in For Honor.
Dude,
I'm a For Honor tryhard.
Used to like drive. I mean, dude, I was like 20 years old and had the blood pressure of a 65-year-old. Oh, dude.
Oh my god. Yeah.
So I've been grinding on Search and Destroy hardcore Call of Duty lately. That's you want to talk about blood pressure.
Which
I
one?
actually before this Modern Warfare 3, the newest Modern Warfare 3. I'm waiting for the new Black Ops to come out. I can't wait to see what that's going to be like. But
One of my
I'm gonna buy that.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm gonna buy that. Like,
No,
I want to wait. I want to wait and see like how the
Yeah.
game is like a few weeks.
That's what
after
I
launch.
did.
well,
I didn't
if you
buy
have-
the last Call of Duty.
if you have an Xbox Series X, Series S, it's going to be free with Game Pass.
The whole game? Or
The whole game.
Are you
Whole game.
serious?
What the?
Serious.
Well, I'll fucking.
They're doing it. They're doing day one because they want more people to play because they realize they're losing traffic. They make all their money. They make all their money back on skins. On skins.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Fortnite has ruined the gaming industry.
Yeah.
Fortnite has done irreversible damage to the gaming industry. It is bad.
I am probably gonna like get back into Rainbow Six because one of my coworkers was talking about it today, and I really haven't been playing any games lately. I played Jedi Survivor 2 and beat that, and started like that Star Wars open world game Outlaws, and it fucking.
Oh my god, yeah, that was bad. I knew it was.
It was a disappointment. I heard. I'm
fucking worst, dude. I can't I don't even know how I'm gonna be able to finish that game. It's so bad. But
just don't even bother.
Yeah, I am probably gonna get back into Siege just because, like, dude, I've been missing like a fun game to play, and I used to be pretty okay at it. It's just so hard to get good at it again because it's such a competitive game. But
man, I love these parts of our I love these parts of our interviews with like Bailey, and we got another guy, Reese Watkins. We do interviews with where we just talk about video games for like video games or anime. What we talk about, man. No, I gotta ask you, talking about video games. What are give me? It doesn't have to be your top 3, but what are 3 video games that you love? If you want to make it your top 3, you can. What are 3 video games off the top of your head?
Ark, For Honor, and Destiny 1. They'll like go down as my favorites of all
Destiny
time.
1. Destiny 1's
Destiny 1's fantastic. My current favorite is DayZ, but of all time, Prime, Ark, Destiny, and For Honor.
Right on. Did you ever play DayZ with the when it was on Arma 2 originally, the mod Arma 2?
I only got into it this year.
Okay, I was gonna say the original. This one's 10 times better, but like I played the original, and where it's come from to where it's at now. It's like, I mean, it's its own game now. So hell yeah, that's good. Those are all 3 solid games. So well, you can tell, like you said, you're a multiplayer guy. So
oh yeah,
right on.
Can you see me well, by the way?
Huh?
You can see me fine, by the way.
Yeah. You're good.
Okay.
I guess steering the conversation. So like the biggest, I guess, takeaway from what was your biggest takeaway from the most recent fight ending in a way that, you know, obviously you've never experienced as a professional fighter? Like what went through it from like the week of the fight, before the fight, after the fight to now?
I was confident I was going to win, and I was confident I was winning, and I was confident that I won all the way up until the point that the judges announced that he had won. And he was surprised. I don't know, like Pete posted a clip, right, the next day after he had won, and the judges had announced his name, and he was hanging his head low, and the judges announced his name, and the ref raised his hand, and he looked more in disbelief than anyone there. And it was up until that point, I thought I was winning. I thought I was going to win, and I thought I had won the fight. And then that was like I don't even know how you describe how, like, not in the plan that was. That was not part of the plan. Some takeaways from that, though, was it was a little bit relieving now having that zero not be such an important factor. You know what I mean? I felt like it was getting to the point where it was more important that I stayed undefeated than I put on entertaining fights. You know what I mean? Which is just super counterproductive, and so that kind of weight had been lifted off of my chest. And then personally, it was just nice to see. What? Oh, no. And then personally, it was really good to see that after I had lost, you kind of expect people to kind of like conditionally appreciate you. You know what I mean? Like appreciate you so long as like you are providing a certain result, or like, oh, you're Mr. Undefeated guy. But everyone kind of was still there, still cared after I had lost. And so that was super cool to see from my friends and family, supporters, pretty much everybody. I felt like that kind of reinforced the fact that I did a good job of building a good community around me too, and not just kind of like people there with the short fuse for results, people that can stick with you for a long time. So there was some, I tried to take a lot of positive from that. I felt like I did.
Oh yeah. It's a good way to look about it for sure.
I like it. I like your viewpoint on that. So that branches me into like another mindset or another thought that I want to ask you about, because you mentioned that you want to be more entertaining than just trying to win fights.
Exactly.
So I like that mindset. Obviously, a lot of fighters just want to win. Like, I mean, obviously, we saw that. If anybody watched the pay-per-view last weekend, Mario Bautista and Jose Aldo, he just wanted to win. He didn't care about being entertaining. I get that. It's not going to serve him in his career because Dana White's not going to give him anything fun next.
No,
he's probably going to get somebody very difficult.
He's in big trouble. He's in big trouble.
I wouldn't doubt they give him like Corey Sandhagen or somebody like very fucking hard next. So that was my next question. When it's all said and done, when your career is all said and done, would you rather be known as, let's say, like a champion, or your favorite fighter's favorite fighter? You know what I mean? Like that guy that is probably one of the most exciting fighters of all time. What would you rather be, or if you want to branch off on?
For me, like I'm very entertained by accomplishment as well, and so like I think entertainment and accomplishment, like if you're able to do both, well, like that's what gets me excited. I necessarily wouldn't aspire to be like a Justin Gaethje. You know what I mean? Although he might be extremely, like you're going to tune in every time he watches. I wouldn't necessarily call him a role model for how I would like to fight. He could be inspiring for his grit, his heart, his mentality, and stuff like that. But I wouldn't necessarily say I want to be like Justin Gaethje, a guy like
you don't want to get knocked out 2 seconds left in UFC 300.
Yeah. Not that takes away from him at all or anything like that. Like he's ballsy, but I would much rather strive to be like the Adesanyas and the Pereiras and the John Jones and the all those guys.
Well, I was gonna say the inverse of Justin Gaethje, the Max Holloway, the guy who does have accomplishments, but is very
exactly. Yeah. And they have a looseness to their spirit too. And I think sometimes I even to this day I find myself getting a little bit like uptight, especially back then when I was undefeated. I felt myself like be very stiff about like how I went about even presenting myself and just kind of conducting myself and stuff like that. But now it's kind of like the chains are gone. You know what I mean? We've got a new animal in the yard, so
it's almost free. Like it's almost freeing, like even spiritually, right? To have that, like you said, that weight off your shoulder, that
Yeah, I think Conor McGregor even had like 2 losses before he went into the UFC.
Oh, yeah.
Not to like sit here and be like it's okay that I lost. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
I would have much rather have won. Don't get me wrong. Like I would like to be talking to you as a champion right now.
Right.
But this is just kind of the situation we're in, and if we're to make the best of it, this is how we're supposed to feel. So, yeah. I certainly would say that there is a weight that has been lifted off, and I get to kind of like be a little bit more freestyle, a little bit more loose again.
Yeah, I guess going off of that, I mean, you kind of just explained my question to a certain degree. Like, it seems like you have a good balance of separating the like mental, spiritual, and physical parts of the sports or of the sport, combat sports world. I would say, like, how do you do that, and how has it changed, if at all, since the loss?
How has it changed is pretty vague.
Like, has anything? I mean, like, more so, like, how do you separate the physical aspect, the mental aspect, and the spiritual aspect of everything?
I feel like man.
Sorry, that's a tough question.
It
That's
is,
a deep
yeah.
one.
Yeah, it is. It is. I guess you could say I separate it by not ever really like making anything like my entire identity. I guess like my entire identity isn't caught up in the fact that I'm a fighter. You know what I mean? Maybe on Instagram, you know, but like that's all I really need Instagram to be is just this like I'm not getting sponsors because I like to play video games. You know, like I'm going to get sponsors and success because I'm a fighter, and so I'm going to present myself in the most fighter-esque way possible on Instagram. But personally, I don't know. I don't even know if I just answered the question.
I mean, I think there's
It's-
I guess
No, you
like
are.
I mean,
I don't even know it. I feel like it just
Yeah.
comes a little bit naturally.
yeah, that's fair.
I always just try and never like I don't know. I hate to say like ego and stuff like that, but like I try not to like walk in a room and be like, yes, it's me, Mr. Fighter Guy, Mr. Pay-per-view King. You know, don't you know who I am? I just I guess you could say unassuming is no, not unassuming. I don't even know. That's a good question. I want to think about that. I want to
Yeah,
figure that
I'll
out.
ask it again on the next time.
You're gonna have him thinking. You're gonna have him thinking for a while.
Yeah.
That was good.
So, sorry, so you have a question. You got one?
I was going to kind of ask the same thing, just kind of what you learned from that fight. I guess I probably shouldn't ask you like technique wise what you learned because
No, that's not a bad question at all.
okay, yeah.
Technique wise, going into a championship fight, it's not the best time to play around with your fight style and find out if wrestling is a good thing to implement or not. I had never shot for a takedown before this fight, you know what I mean? And then now here I am in the most important fight of my life, trying to find out if this stuff works or not, you know? So maybe just staying a little bit more true to myself. And I was sticking to the game plan. We had a game plan going in of using the strikes to kind of set up the takedown, which is a little bit harder, you know, come actually time to do it. It's
Easier
pretty
said than
difficult.
done, for sure.
Right. And then that I was just a little bit stubborn, and I kind of wouldn't let go of that. And I thought like I needed to get him down if I wanted to be successful in the rest of the game plan, instead of just kind of like being able to improvise on the fly and stuff like that, and adapt how I needed to. But like I wasn't able to kind of really get going how I wanted to, just because I was so focused on just getting this guy to the ground. Like I don't know why. I was just like autistic about it. So technique taken from that is don't mix up your techniques in championship fights. Just do what got you to the dance.
That's fair. I mean, I'll say this: watching the fight, going into the decision, I was very 50-50. As far as like I could have seen it going either way, to be perfectly honest. And I remember thinking that the wrestling definitely helped you a little bit because it scored you control in like very close rounds.
Bro, I needed Bautista's judges.
For real.
Yeah.
I got takedowns. Like I even scored takedowns, and nope. I needed those Bautista.
That was a question I was gonna have too. Was it's been very interesting to me. How can judging be improved? Does it need to be fighters? Do they need to have better classes? Do they need to I feel like they should take like a 6-month course at least.
I think you just need people that are passionate about the sport. Like these are like old heads that like, bro, the same commissioners that are like being the judges are also like reffing like kids soccer games probably. I don't know, you know, but like it's they're appointed by the state, like they're assigned by the state, and I guess you kind of like avoid like corruption or whatever that way, but like I wouldn't even say that's true, you know. It's so hard. It's so hard to figure out.
The government's definitely completely free of corruption. So
yes. Which is a fact, by the way. FBI guy watching this.
A pigeon just landed on our window, so he had to drop that bar real quick.
Birds aren't no. Do you also notice that like with I don't know, it's just weird because they're all supposed to go off the same thing, right? Do you notice how some judges will score grappling higher than damage, but obviously the new judging rules are supposed to implement damage more? What do you think that is? Do you think it's like older judges are going off older scoring more? What do you think that is? What do you think the lapse in judging is?
How often do you run into someone that has good judgment? Like on a daily basis, you know, like it's not often you run into someone that has naturally good judgment, you know, and I doubt the people that are working for the state are some of the best minds out there, you know.
They're probably the most moral
just
people.
doing it for a paycheck.
Yeah.
You know,
damn, that's a good. I didn't even think about it like that. I always thought
people are stupid, bro. People are stupid, and just because they're in an important position doesn't mean they're qualified for it.
There's a very important person that works for the UFC that is kind of like that because he's more focused on people power slapping each other right now. So I feel you on that.
Well, I think Dana has to kind of like start to put his resources, his attention elsewhere, and kind of start generating other ways to make money. Because like, bro, I think the UFC is coming up on like a Great Depression right now. Truly, like, who in the UFC is exciting other than like Alex Pereira? Who are we tuning in to watch? We have Alex Pereira, Max Holloway, Ilya.
Sean O'Malley, people still tune in for him, to be fair.
But he ain't going to be there for a year because he's got a torn labrum. He says that it's going to take a year to heal a torn labrum, even though most people heal from a torn labrum in like 6 months.
You're going to break your fingers, dude. Chill out.
All right. I'm sorry. The whole torn labrum thing kills me because Michael Bisping roasted him for like 5 minutes straight about the torn labrum. But anyway.
I mean, John Jones was out with a torn pec for what, like 9 months?
But he's also like 100 years old.
Well, you are too. I mean,
okay, here we go.
I don't know.
But no, I totally get what you're saying. Yeah, it's hard. I mean, it's not hard to be entertaining. It's just nobody wants to be entertaining. I feel like, you know what I mean?
People are so. I think it's not to sound like crazy, but it is so. It's the culmination of so many things where, for example, whenever you were watching the latest UFC event, did you like hear how like stupid the commentary sounded? Like, were you listening to the commentary during the Juliana Pena fight? Like, what are we doing? Like, who are we trying to convince here? We're watching garbage, and if you, as the commentator, feel the need to convince me of what I'm watching, like something's not right. Like, I think for that event, I don't know if it was strategically for that event, what, or if this is just the direction that the UFC is moving, that they're just assuming that the viewer is retarded and cannot make up what's going on their own, and they have to be told like, oh, Juliana Pena is doing a fantastic job of wearing out her opponent by taking all these punches to the face and doing absolutely nothing.
I mean, to be fair, we are talking about MMA fans here.
Yeah.
But I mean, it just feels like a slap in the face when DC and Joe Rogan are just like, what? This is the best technique in the world that we're looking at right now.
Did you see that? That's the worst part, though, is that DC is not like that unless Joe Rogan is there. Like, he will be technical if Joe Rogan's not there. But when Joe Rogan's there, and that's I hate being like that because I like listening to Joe Rogan. But when I like listening to Joe Rogan podcast. Yeah. I don't like listening to him on commentary. I just feel like we're in a stage where we need not people that are Dominic Cruz because he gets too over technical with it. We need people that
I like how Dominic Cruz is not afraid to like bite back on the commentary booth against these guys, like as they're commentating. He's like, actually, no, that's not what's going on. This is what's really happening.
It's just
sometimes I think him and Bisping might break out in a fist fight live on national television outside of the cage, but
that's the problem. Bisping's blind ass might be able to still run, might probably still fuck him up. But no, I don't know. It's weird. I like Paul Felder's my favorite because I think he's perfectly technical and
he's great. He is really good. He is a really good commentator.
And Laura Spenko.
Yeah, she's good too. She's honestly really good. She's a fantastic commentator.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that it's just a problem with the UFC. I think it is the entire entertainment industry in the United States, at least.
Mm-hmm.
Like short form content, Fortnite has ruined how the entertainment business is approached. Viewers are now being convinced of what they're seeing. They're not allowed to make up what's going on in front of them. They have to be told of what they're watching so they can reiterate it to someone else so they can sound like they know what they're talking about. It's just we are in think about the last time a good game was released. Think about the last time you saw a truly good movie. Like the whole entertainment industry is in damage control desperation mode, and they're just like, it's bad. It's bad, bro. They sold the Pena fight by like they were like beefing on Instagram. They hate each other. This is a beef. This is blood boiling beef. They're gonna kill each other in there, and it's like it's obviously not true. Like you're making a mountain out of a molehill to sell, to like get people's attention, and then it's just this is what you got. I don't know. I could go on about it all day. It's just, the entertainment business as a whole is just in a really bad spot right now, and just stupid people with short attention spans are not making it any better.
That's fair.
Kind of going off what you're saying, I think a lot of viewers recognize that too, and I think that's why we see like what are those clips called? The UFC muted or something like that.
Oh yeah, yes.
Commentary. People love that. Not only because you get to hear like fists thwacking on chins, but it's also like nice to just hear what a fight sounds like without three people just like talking over it and like kind of trying to convey a narrative about the fight.
Exactly. Yes.
The fight and all its purity. So I think people recognize that as well.
Man, that's a good point that you brought up, Squirt. I like because it reminded me of the early COVID days. Because it was new then. Obviously, like the commentary got louder and louder. But like back when COVID started, you just heard the people fighting, and there would be like lapses in the commentary where they wouldn't talk, and you would just hear Justin Gaethje beating the soul out of Tony Ferguson. And I rest in peace, Tony Ferguson.
Hooker Poirier too.
But yeah, Hooker Poirier. I'm like, honestly, dude, I will take two dudes. Maybe it's brutal. I'd take two dudes beating the shit out.
You take what?
Pause.
Oh, dude. You picked a bad time to stop talking. You picked a bad time to cut off that sentence.
Two fighters.
Clip that.
I'll take that. No commentary. Two dudes fighting. No commentary. Period. Two dudes fighting, not two girls, one cup. Two dudes, one fight. Two dudes, one fight. Call that.
I don't even know if you should say that because that sounds just as bad, dude.
I'm out. I need to get another drink anyways. I'll be right back.
God, dude.
Do we want to ask Bailey about some of his thoughts on some upcoming fights?
I was gonna ask him, what do you think about Pereira and Roundtree if you watch that?
I don't think Pereira looked like himself after the fight, and he didn't conduct himself in the way he usually does either. Like I don't know if I'm like a little schizo, but like I pay attention to every little thing a person does,
Yeah.
and it really wasn't characteristic of even when they were announcing him, he was like talking along with his name being said. He just seemed like he was playing into all the things that were already like that everyone has built up about him. You know, he was. I'm surprised even he's still saying Chama. Like, how has he not gotten a little bit old of that yet? I imagine he hears that 100 times a day. After he had beat Khalil, like he yelled at him for a brief second. You know what I mean? Out of frustration, like uncharacteristic frustration. You know, like where did that come from? Like, was Alex frustrated with himself, like at the outcome of the fight? Like, I know he went on to say he was taking antibiotics and stuff like that.
Yeah, they said that he was like pretty sick during the camp or whatever, but I mean, that's pretty common. I don't know.
And also let me say that I love that he won. I am a massive Pereira fan. You know what I mean? I'm a massive Pereira fan. But just to kind of like, if he was my friend and he was sitting in front of me right now, like I wouldn't just want to tell him things that weren't true. You know, like he just didn't look like himself after the fight. He yelled at Khalil, and then he like turned away and hung his head in almost like shame. Like I don't know what it was. He like just held his head low. Did he have his own expectation of what was supposed to happen going into the fight, and it just took a left turn, and he had to fight way harder than he anticipated? He's like upset at himself that he had like got hurt twice from Khalil, like dropped once, you know, like I don't know.
I think that's
it was just a lot.
I think that's a very fair set. I think that's what it was. I believe it was frustration because I mean he thought Khalil was.
I mean, he pulled it out of the mud too. Like he was in kill mode. Like he looked.
He was in the flow state. He was in the flow state, 100%.
If the flow state was like gouging out your eyes and like ripping out your tongue, if you know,
dude,
Mortal Kombat finisher, bro.
Yes.
Mortal Kombat finisher, bro.
Some of Pereira's jabs just look like hooks from some people. It's insane.
Yeah.
They're like crosses. They're like a normal person's cross.
It's insane. And it just like the momentum of the other person's head rolling back is just nuts to see.
Especially when
just
super
hearing the crack,
Yeah.
hearing the crack. Dude, his arms, bro, he was fighting and his arms, like from his knuckles up to halfway his forearm, was just covered in Khalil's blood. Like he had blood on his hands. Like literally, he literally had blood on his hands. And it was
like that one scene from Invincible. Y'all ever seen that? Invincible?
Yeah.
It was like,
yeah, dude.
Dude, you know what? Going off what you said, I do think some of it is just like we said earlier. He has been pretty much carrying the entire weight of the entire organization of the UFC for the last year and a half, 2 years. And I mean, I'm sure that's got to catch up to a person, whether they're stoic as he seems to be or not. Like, the guy's been super active. What do you fight? 3 times this year? If I'm
but 3 times this year, but 4 times in a count. If you're talking about a calendar 12-month year, 4 times
as a champion, which is just crazy. So I mean, I mean that's got to be.
He got knocked out. He got knocked out. What, a year ago?
Yeah, just
last
July. I want to say
April.
Oh, last April. So April of 2023, and he's just been on a tear since. But he's just been fighting nonstop. The dude needs to take a break and not come back till next summer. I hate to say that.
He deserves a break too.
Yeah,
he deserves
a break.
I hate to
say that
a
as
break.
a Bear fan because I love him, but like he needs one, dude. He needs to just
chill.
I'm
gonna say if Ankalaev beats Rakic, do like Ankalaev versus I don't know Hill for an interim or something. I don't know, something like that.
Make Ankalaev fight contenders forever.
Yeah, just forever. Nobody wants to see him get the title, bro. That's the thing. Is like he's not boring. Because he does.
He's been pretty boring lately, dude.
Bro, he just kickboxes. Like everybody acts like he wrestles. He
Leon
kickboxes.
Kudalaba?
He knocked out Johnny Walker, didn't he?
Yeah,
his
that-
most
He
recent
did
win.
knock out Johnny Walker.
That's fair.
Oh, is that this year? That needs to go on like KO.
Johnny
of the year.
Walker's been knocked out like 3 times in one fight, like twice, right?
Multiple times.
So
Yeah.
you-
Multiple times.
If we're riding
Wait, I gotta-
I mean, to be fair, there's just not much to go on light heavyweight. Like, there's just
Fair.
if we're riding the Ankalaev hate train, I say just to piss him off, let's give Ozdemir the next shot. I'd love
I
to
love Ozdemir, dude. I love
Yeah.
Ozdemir.
He just
I wanted
lost
to ask-
though, didn't he?
No,
Or no, did he win?
he beat Nikita
He's knocked
Krylov, I believe.
Yeah, he knocked.
Oh
the fuck-
yeah. That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah, that's right.
Which,
that's right.
to be fair, Ankalaev has beaten both of those guys, so that would be a real slap in the face.
But at least they're more exciting. But
I mean, dude,
Bailey,
like,
I wanted to.
if you want to just talk like pure deservance, like obviously Khalil didn't deserve a title shot at this point, but there's just
Bro,
no
he
one else.
popped. He popped before that.
Yeah, exactly.
He popped
Yeah.
to get a title shot.
Yeah,
bro.
there's just
What?
no one. There's literally no one else. Like, who else? Anthony.
I really don't know. Like, I still can't understand why the hell they booked that fight. But there. So I wanted to ask Bailey, how do you think? I broke it down in the pre-fight, and I feel like my assessment was accurate. Like, we did a pre-fight breakdown. The way to beat Pereira, would you say it like on the feet is forward pressure from the get-go? Like forward pressure, tagging him. I mean, that seems because that's what served Khalil well.
Well, it worked for Bruno Silva.
And it worked for Bruno Silva. Would you say that's the best way? Because I said that in the breakdown. I said the reason that people are losing is because they're letting him get comfortable, and he's attacking the body, attacking the leg, and that's what sets up the shot up high. Khalil gassed out. That's why he lost.
I mean, Strickland tried.
Well, you got to keep your hands high too. That's another thing too. High guard, and that's what Khalil had. Would you say like high guard pressure? I don't know.
Bro, he hits you through your guard. Like
Right,
you
yeah.
can block a punch and like he's still gonna hit you through it. So I think it might serve you to be a little bit more elusive. Try to be.
Adesanya.
But
Yeah.
heavy pressure, it's so hard to say because it's like who has really laid out the blueprint to beat him? No one really. Like no one's laid out a blueprint to beat him. So if you're asking me how I would go about fighting Pereira, I would start by purchasing guns and like grenades and just being really well-rounded. Like I imagine you take a GSP at 185, like an 85 or size GSP would be able to handle a Pereira well.
Yeah.
And be able to mix up the takedowns and stuff like that. I think you need to be an effective striker and be able to kind of flow into the wrestling, like strike and then take him down and strike and fake shots to feed into punches and fake punches to feed into shots and just wear them out that way. It might not be a fantastic fight to watch, but like these guys are trying to strike with them to make an entertaining fight, which, you're doing me a service because I'm watching, but I don't think that's the best idea.
I don't say I had a hot take. I take it back now. I'll take it back. I had a hot take on Twitter like probably a year ago that I said that Rumble Johnson would beat Alex Pereira on the feet. I take that back now. Rumble hits hard. I don't know if he hits Pereira hard. I don't know if he hits Pereira
Khalil
hard.
hits hard too. Khalil hits hard, and it proved to like not really mean anything. Like Pereira ate some nasty shots. Like he ate a head kick.
That head kick.
He ate a head kick. That's a nasty head kick, and he just ate it.
I've always been worried about Pereira's chin ever since the the last Izzy fight. And obviously he was cutting down a tremendous amount of weight. But anytime you see a guy go out like that, you're like, I don't want to see him ever get hit again because that's what's going to happen. But to see him take those shots and keep on fucking churning, he's got it. I think you just have to accept if you're fighting Pereira, you're in great danger. It doesn't matter what your style is or what your strategy is. You're not safe at any point. And that's the point.
That's another thing too. It's not like if you're fighting Izzy and you do what a Cannonier does and or Marvin Vettori and just stay back or like shoot takedowns, like you probably won't get knocked out, but it's going to be a very boring decision loss for you, and you're going to get shit all over Twitter. If you do that against Alex Pereira, he's still going to fucking hunt you down, and he's going to land shots and put you to sleep.
Yes. Yeah. You know, like when you step in that cage, it's like with a killer. It's with someone who is in there with the intent to put you unconscious in a coma.
Yeah.
And they're not going to stop until like you're not moving. They're not going to stop till the referee is pulling them out.
Credit to Khalil's chin too, because I was thinking about this one time. You never see Alex in like those bloody butcher fights, because if he's landing the kind of shots that are going to be cutting people open, he's knocking them out. He doesn't have to bloody them up. He's just going to knock them out. Mm-hmm. And somehow Khalil survived enough to become, I mean, unfortunately, I guess he survived long enough to become a bloody mess, but
dude, tough as hell. Tell me if I'm wrong here. I mean, I could be, but just the body language, the way it looked like he just said, "I'm done." Like almost like Robbie Lawler and
Rory. Yeah.
Rory too.
No, he gassed, dude.
He just looked like he just couldn't take anymore. He just went down.
Yeah, he took those two shots, which I'm sure just took all the.
I don't want to be disrespectful in saying that, but that's just the way it looked. Like it did not look good the way he went down, because it wasn't like he got like stiffed up or didn't like fall like most people that get truly TKO'd fall. He just went down. It was like he just.
Well, I legitimately think it was the gas tank. I mean, I need to let Bailey answer, but yeah, I think it was the gas tank. I think that's what failed on him.
No, I would 100% agree. I think when. He was ripping body shots. I mean, his nose was shattered. He can't barely breathe. His face is in pain. His liver is in pain. He's exhausted. It's just like, what do you what do you have to pull from to keep fighting at that point? You know, like I think his body gave out. Not even like he quit. I don't even think he chose to quit. I think his body just couldn't handle it anymore. Which is like, I mean, look at what Pereira has done to other guys, though. And like, again, like you guys were saying, like you usually don't see guys get bloody. Like Khalil took so much punishment from Pereira that his body just broke, I imagine.
Yeah, that fourth round was just
10-7 style. That was if that was 10-6, that was 10-6, that was 10-5. If it didn't stop, dude, that's like
you took those two body shots, which just
the first two or even three were like to Khalil.
Yeah, the first two rounds went to Khalil. The third went to Alex, and then the fourth was just like murder.
I think I scored it 3 up for Khalil. I have to rewatch, but I think
all three scorecards had 10. Or the first 2 rounds of Khalil and the third round.
That's right. I think that's right. I mean, I was probably wrong. Yeah, I was gonna say that.
Yeah, you could feel.
Hey, that's the right. That's a good score.
He just started cracking, and then it was just like the beginning of the end. Like after the third round ended, I was like, fuck, here we go, dude, here we go. And then the fourth round started, and that's exactly what happened. He was just.
I said this too. I don't know if I got to get everybody's opinion on this, but I said that this fight with Khalil was what everybody thought the Yuri fights were going to be, like exciting.
I would agree. Yeah. I think the Yuri fights were exciting because of the stakes, like what was. Kind of like worlds were colliding. We had this like samurai guy versus this like tribal guy, and so like there was a lot of two worlds colliding, but like Khalil was a truly violent fight. Like that was a violent fight.
I was gonna say there's real violence, and then there's, I guess, I love Yuri, but there's like. Well, I mean, he's violent too. Shit, he's violent too. It's just styles. Styles make fights. Fights. But
I wonder who the next guy So I imagine Pereira should take some time off, but I wonder who's going to be the next guy up for him. He posted a picture of Tom Aspinall.
Let's say, I wonder if he just goes to Tom Aspinall.
I want that because I love Tom. Oh, but Tom will kill him. in my opinion, Tom will kill him.
Kill
Kill him.
Yeah, Tom's. I said Paul. I meant to say Tom. Tom is not dumb. Tom is very smart.
Listen,
Tom is a very.
He even said, he was like, I'm shooting a takedown in the first 10 seconds if I ever fight that guy. He's like, I'm sprinting across the octagon and just taking him.
It'll look like the Arlovsky
Me and
fight. He
Knuckles-
literally tackled him.
Me and Knuckles have been going to war for this for the last, ever since the fight happened. Can you just give me your opinion? He has been adamant that Alex Pereira has, and quote for quote, zero or little to zero chance to beat Tom Aspinall. I think that's just crazy to say. Could be wrong, but little to zero is kind of nuts, in my opinion. But I don't know. What do you think, Bailey?
Puncher's
you
chance.
see how I would agree. I would say Pereira has a puncher's chance, but he wasn't able to quickly put away Khalil. Khalil is like a cinder block, and Tom Aspinall is like if you were to just click and drag Khalil Roundtree and then make him white. And he's just scary. He's like 6'6". He's like 6'7". Did you see him next?
Yeah, they say he's 6'5", but he's really 6'6" or 6'7".
Yeah,
He's the Dallas Cowboys if he was born in Texas instead of Manchester. He's a unit.
Listen, I like both of them. I just don't know if I love
Max. Max, just take the L. Just take
No,
the L.
I won't. I will die on the hill. I just don't know if I love the idea that he has zero to little chance. I don't know.
Say he has a 2% chance.
I just don't know.
There we go.
I wouldn't say zero because, like I said, you're always in danger with the guy. But but it's a little chance. It's a small chance.
He could go to low kick Pereira in the second round, hurt his shin, and fall backwards and roll on the floor.
I don't know, 65-35 for Aspinall.
That's not a.
That's pushing it though.
I don't know.
I would say 80-20, but I wanted to ask Bailey.
I would say 65-35. That's what I give it.
I'd say
I don't know, man. Dude.
I'd say, like I said the other day, 85-15.
Sometimes this is going in the middle factor. Sometimes the boogeyman effect has an effect in this sport. I don't know. Could be wrong. And I know Aspinall has finished every single fight in the first round, but I don't know, dude. I don't know. Maybe I'm irrational. We'll see. We'll probably see. Who knows?
But I wanted to ask Bailey before we get him off of here. I want to ask him upcoming pay-per-view, Ilia Topuria versus Max Holloway. Who do you have winning that?
Max is smart, but so is Ilia, and Ilia's powerful. I think this might be the first time we see Max get knocked out. I don't think it's going to be a good night for the average fan. I think it's going to be a night of tears. I just think Ilia is sharper. He hits harder, and I don't think he has a problem going 5 rounds. He's not the guy to get tired. He beat on Josh Emmett for how many rounds did that fight go?
5?
4 or 5?
4 or 5.
5th round, and he didn't slow down. He is a technical beast. If you watch him train, anything he does is just perfect. It's precise. He wastes no movement. He's just a killer. But you can also never count out Max Holloway. But I feel if a guy like Volkanovski, and not discrediting Volkanovski whatsoever, Volkanovski was able to disrupt and beat Max Holloway with an inside kick and a jab.
Mm-hmm. That's where, yeah.
And Ilia Topuria is
doesn't have that.
An assassin compared to Volkanovski,
But I think the lack of the inside leg kick, though, right? That's where I'm that's what killed Max was the inside leg kick. I feel that'll.
I think he's saying he could find some other just specific.
He could. I was gonna say. I'm not saying.
Yeah.
He could, that's what.
He totally could.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just don't see Max being able to. Yeah, exactly. And I mean that's not good for your chin. When are they fighting again? When was UFC 300 and
20 days?
UFC 300 was April 16th, 13th. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they're
so it's 6 months. not even 6. Is it not even 6 months?
give or take. I don't know.
They're fighting.
Oh,
The
so
26th of October. 26th of October.
And
Yeah,
what?
100%
Volk
time to
and
recover.
Ilya fought 298 or not tripping.
Yeah.
Yeah, he fought 298. 298. Yep.
And so Volk has just had one guy in mind the whole time. Like or not Volk, but Ilya. And so if I were to place a bet, I would put my money on Ilya.
I mean, that's the
going
thing.
into
Like
this fight.
Max's chin, I've been saying it for years. I've been wrong every time I've predicted it, but it's got to go at some point. So
Yeah, and how old is he now? Like 33?
34, I believe.
34. Like he's just kind of like right outside of that like prime zone.
And
Especially
his
for that
MMA
little weight
career is
class.
like 40.
Oh no, he's 32. Sorry, he'll be 33. Well, he'll be to 30. No, he won't. He'll be almost 33 when they fight.
Okay, well he's
That's
still
just crazy. That he's like 500 in fight years, right? He's
Yeah,
like 500 in
yeah.
fight years.
He's taking some shots through the day.
Yeah.
Even Korean Zombie landed a couple bombs on him.
Do you think? I was gonna say, you think that
and yeah, air
fight
too.
years are different, right?
Yeah,
Though, like fight years are different. Do you think?
Fight year? Oh yeah. You're like every time you get hit, like you're taking like at least a few seconds off your life.
Yeah.
Like the quality of your life. You know what I mean? We might live to be the same age, but you're going to be up and moving around a lot longer than I am, maybe.
I think his question is more like in your career, does it affect your like chin going down the end of your career, like as far as
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
100%, 100%.
I mean, look at
Yoel Romero didn't start fighting until he was like 31 or 32, and he's still got an iron chin and still going at it at 45.
and then look at Arlovsky, who's like a skeleton at this point. Dude.
That guy's a science experiment. Because he lost his chin, then he found it, then he lost it, and then he found it again. I don't know what the fuck that is.
Well, Yoel Romero was built in a Cuban lab also, so
Yes, he was. Yes, he was a science experiment.
yeah.
You ever hear that, Bailey? Ever hear that story about Yoel Romero's cheekbone?
Is his
orbital bone?
His orbital, his orbital, yeah.
He like heals naturally, like.
Well, it was already healing by the time
he was saying the doctor said like it heals like 12 times faster than like the normal person.
That's insanity. That is pure insanity.
That's
pure insanity.
Yeah, dude. Joe Rogan has probably told that story more than any other story.
Okay. Well, it's Joe
no,
Rogan's.
it is funny though. It is funny.
I'll say Joe Rogan's two stories are Yoel Romero and DMT. That's his two go-tos.
Hell, well, we've kept you for a while, Bailey.
No, it was good. It was good.
Yeah, we appreciate you hopping on as always. Sure, you'll be on here several other times. We appreciate it, man. Excited to see what you're doing in the future. We'll talk again here soon and see what you got going on, man.
All righty. I look forward to it.
Would you
like to give a closing statement or anything?
Yeah, shout out your sponsors, by the way. Shout them out.
What a fantastic call that was. That's good. Yeah. That's really good. Going into my next jiu-jitsu tournament, Riot Sports Supplements is going to be sponsoring me going into this. And so they're a supplement company. They have all types of good stuff. And I'm not just saying that's not a script. Like they do have some really good blood flow supplements, some really good pre-workout for rolling because you can't take traditional pre-workout because your heart will explode. They have like jiu-jitsu specific pre-workout and some supplement that I'm taking right now called Athlete Armor, and I'm not quite sure what's exactly in it. I would have to go look at the bottle, but it really helps reinforce and heal your joints a little bit faster and kind of like give you those nutrients that your joints aren't really getting from a normal diet. So they do have some really good supplements that I take every day.
Oh, yeah.
So Riot Supplements, Riot Sports.
Riot like as an RIOT?
Yes.
Cool. All right. Riot Supplement Sports. Sweet.
Well, thank you guys.
Thanks, man.
It was good.
Appreciate you. Can't wait to see you. Can't wait to talk to you in the future, man, and see what's next.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All righty, boys. I will see you.
See you, buddy.
Good going, man.
Take it easy.